All right, so let's say you had hepatitis A while back, right? And now you're thinking about life insurance.
Yeah.
And maybe you're wondering like, oh, is this going to mess up my chances of getting covered?
Right.
That's a totally valid question. It's something we all think about.
It is, yeah.
So we actually dug into some research, some expert sources, and what we found out is pretty interesting.
Yeah, and you know what's really interesting about hepatitis A? It's kind of unique in the insurance world.
Huh.
See, unlike some other forms of hepatitis, it usually doesn't lead to like chronic liver problems.
Oh, okay.
And this is a big deal when it comes to those insurance folks assessing, your application and everything.
So that's good news for people who've had Hep A, right?
Yeah, it can be.
The sources we looked at, they basically said that most people who've recovered from Hep A, with no complications or anything,
Right.
they can actually get standard rates on life insurance.
Exactly. Yeah.
And some might even, get this, qualify for preferred rates.
I know, right?
Who knew?
It all comes down to, well, insurance is all about risk.
Uh-huh.
And because Hep A is usually like a short-term thing and doesn't usually mess with your liver long-term,
Right.
the risk for the insurance company is way lower, and you know what that means.
Lower premiums.
There you go.
That's great. But, I was thinking, what about those cases where, maybe someone did have complications from Hep A?
Yeah, good point.
The source mentioned that. Like, what if it did affect your liver?
Right. If you had serious liver issues because of Hep A, yeah, that makes things trickier. The insurance company might want to see more medical info.
Makes sense.
Or they might like adjust your premiums based on that. It's all about, figuring out that individual risk.
Okay, so it's not a definite no, but definitely something to keep in mind.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's say you've had Hep A, maybe had some complications, maybe not, and now you're ready to look at life insurance. What types are out there? I know the source mentioned a few different options. Can you break those down?
Yeah, so you've got like three main types you'll probably come across. There's fully underwritten life insurance. This one usually gets you the best rates, but you got to do a medical exam.
Right, a medical exam?
Then you have simplified issue life insurance. No exam for this one, but they'll ask you some health questions on the application.
Okay, so that's kind of a middle ground.
Exactly, good way to put it. And then there's guaranteed issue life insurance. This one's like automatic approval, no health questions at all.
Wow, that sounds easy.
It is, but it can come with higher premiums, and sometimes they have this thing called a graded death benefit.
Graded death benefit. What's that?
So basically, if you pass away within like the first few years of having the policy, they might not pay out the full death benefit, but after that initial period, the full benefit kicks in.
Okay, I got it. That's good to know. So much to consider. We've covered a lot of ground here. What would you say are the biggest takeaways for our listeners? What surprised you the most?
I think the most important thing to remember is don't assume just because you've had hepatitis A that you can't get affordable life insurance.
Right.
If you've bounced back and you're healthy now, you're probably in a really good spot. But here's the thing. This is where working with a good insurance broker is super important.
Okay, yeah.
They know how different companies view Hep A. Some are stricter than others.
Huh.
A broker can really guide you through the whole process, answer all those questions, and find the policy that fits you perfectly. Like even asking them, hey, which companies are more lenient with a Hep A history? That can save you so much time and headache.
That's such a good tip. So it's not just about getting a policy, it's about getting the right policy from the right company.
Exactly.
This has been a really interesting deep dive, and it makes you think, how much do we really understand about how pre-existing conditions can affect our insurance?
That's so true. I think a lot of people don't realize how much those things can come into play.
Definitely food for thought.
It really is. And that's why doing your research, asking questions, really understanding all the factors involved in how insurance works is so important.
Absolutely.
And remember, it's not just about your past medical history, but also your current health, your age, your lifestyle, even your family history can play a role. It's a lot to consider.
Yeah.
But knowing all this can save you money and stress in the long run.
Knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thanks for breaking all that down for us. This was super helpful.
Happy to do it.
And to our listeners, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll catch you next time.